you try to put hair up and it fights with you the whole time? Frizzy, in the wrong direction, been slept on, it's got dents in it. Listen, I totally know how this goes. I've worked in the salon for almost 23 years, and every time someone comes in for an updo, you know they've been told not to shampoo, don't do anything with your hair, which I'm totally on board for it, but my goodness, sometimes it comes in a wreck. And it's like, I don't have time to shampoo you. We have a whole bridal party coming in here. There's people are like, boom, 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 we got to get this going. Like, what am I supposed to do? Well, I've got something really great to share with you today. I'm Tony Santini. Welcome to Shop Talk and Style. So I've been in business for about 23 years. I'm considering myself a cosmetology career strategist, meaning that I've worked in multiple parts of this industry and helped many people also gain and start their careers in this industry as well. If you want to know a little bit more about me, please feel free to check out my About video on my channel. It gives you the whole rundown. So, what about this? How can we take control? Well, it's called directional blow drying. And it's the perfect setup for upstyling and formal styling. Upstyling specifically, the actual placement of everything doesn't take so long. It's about creating the right setup so that you can put everything in place right away. And that's what I want to talk about today. So there's 3 major steps on how to do this, and I'm going to share them with you now. These mannequins behind me have all had directional blow drying done to help me create their style. This lovely lady here is wearing a pretty classic wedding style. You can see she's got a low bun in the back, some nice lift, a little bit of hair moving down, but it's all in the direction it's supposed to be, and I didn't have to fight with it to get it there. Here's another example of using directional blow drying to create a fun, what we might call messy bun on the side and the back of the head. All the hair is moving smoothly in the direction it's supposed to go, and again, it didn't have to fight to get it there. This model is what happens when you do directional blow drying, specifically moving back and up. It gives the hair an incredible amount of volume, tons of movement. She had flat hair before, and I was able to really lift it up and get it moving. So that's what we want to do without having to shampoo and blow dry that hair, because we need this to happen fast. So let's take a look at our model. Oh, you know you've seen this. They all come in, it was in a ponytail, they take it out, and now it's just a big mess. Like, it's parted in the wrong places, it doesn't want to do what you want it to do, and I'm like, how am I supposed to make this work? Put my curling iron in there, I try to curl it back, and it falls forward. It's flat, it doesn't want to do anything. Okay, well, we need to take control. We're in charge here, right? We're the stylists, we've got the tools and the power, so we're going to make that happen. So here's what we're going to do. There's one product in specific I want to talk to you about first. And I'm going to talk about this in slightly generic terms so that you can use this across any product line. It's a setting spray. This one happens to be from Redken. It's called Hot Sets 22. It's a powerful setting spray, but it also has combability and you can slip your brush through it. You do not want to use a tacky styling product here. Anything that sticks or grips too hard is going to be a royal pain in the butt. It's going to be very difficult to work with. This is going to get sprayed on dry hair and we're going to run a brush through it. So if you don't know what type of product that is for you, test them out. Grab a mannequin head, spray some product on it, blow dry through it with a brush on dry hair and see if it's sticky or not. So that's step 1. We got to find our product and find our tool. The tool we're going to be using is a BOAR bristle round brush. So BOAR bristles are extremely important here because they do grip the hair really well and you can create a lot of really good tension on the hair. The main point of what we're doing today is pushing the hair in the direction we want the updo to go. So we got to think about this a little bit, right? Where is our hair going to be placed when all this is done? Is it going to be in the back? Is it going to be on the side of the back? Do we want fullness on the top? Do we want fullness on the sides? Or do we want the sides slicked back? All of that needs to come into preparation and come into our plan before we get started. So, round brush, BOAR bristles, strong setting spray that you can brush through, right? And of course, we need a blow dryer. So my blow dryer has a nozzle on the end of it. It's a very important part of your blow dryer, so don't throw it away. And I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. It helps to concentrate the airflow into a small area to help give nice polish, shine on the hair. It also helps to direct the airflow so that you're not blowing the hair in all different directions. This is going to be really important when we do directional blow drying. So directional blow drying it's exactly what it is. We're pushing the hair in the direction we want it to go. So this lovely lady, we need this hair on the sides to move back, right? So I've decided that she's going to wear something close to the back, maybe a little bit lower, like a low bun, but she still needs a lot of volume and fullness so that her hair lifts off of her head. One thing that we can see, and I wish I could give you another visual besides my video, but things look smaller in picture and on film. So your wedding party or prom party or whatever party they're going to, their hair is going to look a little bit smaller than it does in real life. So you might want to talk to them about that because you're going to want to create something a little bit fuller and a little bit bigger. Plus, they're probably going to be dancing and partying and having a good time, so you want to make sure that this thing stays in place. My goodness, the last thing you want is his hair falling out when she's walking down the aisle or dancing with her boyfriend or whatever. And we don't want any hair falling out on Instagram, for God's sakes. You know there's going to be pictures taken of this. So the hair needs to be pushed and placed in a position that it's going to stay put. So directional blow drying is going to help us do that. So let's talk about sectioning. This is step 2. I'm going to use these pink clips. Doesn't matter what color they are. They just grip really well. And we're going to section the hair so that we have to work with the top, which is going to include the crown. So just the top and crown, and I'm just going to use my clip to section this hair. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is a setup. We do need to be in the general area of the top and crown. And when you get to the crown, we're going to take this just to the top of the crown. We don't want to go on the bottom of the crown. So I'm going to clip this out of the way and then share with you what I just did here. I find that giving the hair a twist when you really want to control it is great. So if you look at the back of the head, you can see this is the very top of the crown. That's where this sectioning is coming across. We're going to work with the crown when we work with the back. The other 2 sections are going to be the sides. So you can find where that ear is and then just create a section with your finger and separate that hair. It doesn't have to be perfect again. It just needs to be the general area of the side. And I'm going to take a clip and I'm going to clip that section out of the way. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Another clip. Clip that side out of the way. And so now I'm working in the back of the head. What I want to do here is I want to make this create as much volume as I possibly can. So one thing to know with hair is if you blow dry the hair up in the opposite direction it's going to be laying, you're going to have more volume because the hair is going to want to lift up off the head. So I'm going to take this whole entire back section and blow dry this hair forward and up over the head. I'm going to use a clip as I go through and do the blow drying so that I can hold the hair out of the way as I blow dry it. So let's take a demo of this first before we get started. My setting spray comes in at the root area. So I'm going to take my spray and mist the root area on the top and the bottom. Now the sections that I'm taking you can see are maybe a little more than an inch. And I'm going to spray the rest of the hair with my setting spray. I'm going to take my brush and brush through it. And we're going to be blow drying from underneath the section. So I'm going to hold the hair with the brush in, hair on top, fingers on top of the hair to control the hair, and I'm going to be moving the hair up. Now if her head pops off the stand, no surprise, she does it all the time. Blow dryer, it's going to be on high airflow and high heat, meaning you want to keep this airflow moving. Do not aim this at the scalp or you'll burn your client. So we're going to push the airflow away from the scalp. I'm going to do one section and then talk you through it. Okay, so we sprayed that section at the root area, sprayed it through the hair, took my round brush, blew dry the hair up and over the head, and then clipped it to let it cool. I'm going to work down the head from here all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to blow dry all of this hair up, section by section. I will clip it to let it cool so that it sets itself up and stays nice and full. I'm going to take random sections, slightly more than an inch, back and forth around the head, blow drying everything up. Once you practice this a few times and get proficient, you can kind of keep going and just use your pinkies to section and then spray. So you'll see I'll be holding on to the spray quite a bit, as well as my round brush. I know it's a lot of stuff in your hands, right? But if you practice it, you can get faster at it. This should probably take you about 15 minutes once you get it down. So the great thing about this is you're going to be able to set the hair up in ways to create twists, chignons, and low buns without using a curling iron anymore. So it's going to go a lot faster. Think about what you charge for an updo and the amount of time that people need to get in and out of the salon. It's way worth it. So let's do it. I'm going to work on the back and then we'll talk about the sides. Alright, that was my last section. So, let's take a look and see what happened. Full, right? Volume, smooth, it's up off the head, it's got a lot of movement, it's got a little bit of bend to it. Look at that, right? Think about all the times you've done an updo and you've pulled that hair up and there's all these little frizzy flyaway pieces on the side. Done. This is going to take care of it. So, let's move on to the next section. Plus, you can already see that if this girl is going to wear a ponytail, look how perfect that hair goes up into a ponytail. It's got volume and everything right away. Okay, let's look at the side. So, I'm going to make the decision here for this updo that we're going to blow dry this hair up and back. So to do that, on the side, you get this section of hair out of the way because it belongs to the top, and then I'm going to divide the hair into two pieces vertically on the side. So you can see there's two sections here, 1 and 2. I'm going to hold my section out vertically, spray my product on the root and the rest of the hair, and I'm going to blow dry this section with my brush on top of the section, back and up. right side complete. You can see this hair now wants to move back very easily. Couple hot tips for the sides. When you spray the product, ask your client to please close their eyes. I have made the mistake of not doing that, and inevitably it gets in their eye. Not cool, especially when you're meeting someone for the first time. So just say, hey, can you please close your eyes while I work around the front? No problem. Okay, on to the other side. So I'm going to move to the other side of the mannequin so that you can see. Because one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch hands. And I know that sounds a little complicated, but here's the deal. I'm not rolling the round brush down into the hair at all. I'm just simply holding it with my hand. This is another good thing to practice. I want to be behind my client. I don't want to be standing in her face while I'm doing this, especially on the sides. When we get to the top, we're going to want to do that. So, let's take this side section down, create two subsections, take my product, spray it in, I'm going to switch hands and put my brush in front of the hair, blow dryer on, and blow. And done. Now, I'm not as proficient with my round brush in my left hand either, but I can still do it. I practiced in the salon. I actually ended up practicing blow drying on this side of the head with opposite hands, just on clients, just to kind of get comfortable with it, and it really did help. And you notice as I got through the scalp area, I switched hands and went to my comfort zone to finish the ends. It's fine, it's not a big deal. Problem is you can't really do it with your right hand on the right side of the head because your blow dryer is going to be over here and super awkward to actually get a good polish on the hair. So practice it. That's what we have to do if we want to be good. Alright, let's talk about the top. So the top is going to be determined basically the direction on which way you want the hair to move. Do you want it all to move back? If you blow dry it all back, it's going to be flat to the head, which is super cool if you want a nice, slick, tight ponytail. If you don't want a nice, slick ponytail, though, we have to think about direction. Is she going to wear a part? Is she going to have one of those pompadour kind of feelings in the front? Well, if she wants it lifted and rolled back, you're going to blow dry all the hair forward. Now, I know you're going to be in front of your client, but you know what? It's fine. You just need to let them know what you're doing so that they know what to expect. You can ask them to move. You can tell them that you're going to stand in front of them for a little while. What I usually have them do, if I need to create this volume and lift in the front moving back, is I tell them to go ahead and put their elbows on their knees and put their head forward. That way, I can work with the hair in this direction. I'm going to say this girl wants a side part though, so let's go ahead and do a side part. So let's figure out where we want that to be. I think we could probably do a side part on the left side. So I'm going to take my tail comb and put that part in. I'm going to do a really tiny zigzag. I find that when you're doing upstyling, if you do a harsh straight line part, it looks kind of white, and in pictures sometimes it can really show up, especially if you use dry shampoo. So if you take the end of your tail comb and just put it in where you want the part to start, and then just very, very small strokes create a zigzag. It just softens the part so it doesn't look quite so harsh. So straight part, you can really see that scalp. Tiny zigzag part. softens the line. Cool? So, since we're going to have her hair have part, I'm going to blow dry all the hair on this side of the head that way, and all the hair on this side of the head the other way. And then we have some area in the crown to work with, right? So remember what I said about moving the hair in the opposite direction to get the volume going back in the direction it's going to land? Well, that's what we're going to do. So I want the part to be about halfway across the top of the head. So I'm going to section this out of the way first. And I'm going to blow dry the top crown first before I blow dry the front. And then I can just push it back. So I'm actually going to have my client in front of me. And I'm going to take 2 clips just to clip this hair in the front out of the way while I'm working. And also so that it's not sitting in her face and hot. I'm going to have her tip her head forward slightly. And then I'm going to take, after I comb through her hair, I take a section across the top of her head. So we're going to go across the top of the head. And I'm going to blow dry all this hair forward with my round brush. I'm going to spray product at the top. Now I'm comfortable with this whole section in my hand because I've been doing this for a while. If you're not, divide it into 2 pieces. But when you do that, divide it diagonally. Don't create a straight part because then it's going to separate. So do a diagonal part if you're going to separate it. I'm going to do it all in one hand. Tip it forward a little bit. Blow dryer, my round brush, go to it. Alright, back half of the top is done. Give her the comb through with the wide tooth comb, and she's got volume. You might ask, why don't you just use water? Well, water doesn't have any control to it, right? So it might help smooth the hair down, but it's not going to help hold it in position. We want this to be specifically formed in a different direction. The other thing you might ask is, why don't you just spray the head full of product and then blow dry it? Well, it's a good question, and I've actually tried that before because I thought it would be helpful. But it doesn't really help because you need the hair to be slightly damp when you're blow drying through it to create that smoothness and reform of the hair. So, oh well, gotta try, right? Alright, I'm going to take this section in 2 on this side of the head and blow dry this hair toward me. Grab my product, spray the hair. So you can see that I moved to the other side of the mannequin head. Well, I needed to because I couldn't really reach over the top of the head and effectively blow dry the hair back. So I just switched positions. Look at that volume. Super full, right? Okay, let's do the other side. And grab grab my section. And this time I'm going to stand on this side because I found that it was actually easier to blow dry the hair in the other direction. So I'm going to spray the fruit area and the rest of the hair. Remember to spray the rest of the hair because that is also controlling and smoothing out the kinks, frizz, and any flyaways. Ooh, I'm getting all tangled up. All right. Let's try this again. And done. All right, let's comb her out. Looks like she had a fresh blowout. We didn't even wash her hair. So, you can see this technique comes in way handy. Now, if I want to put this up, all the hair is going in the direction that I want it to go, and I can just simply pin it up. Of course, some back combing might be nice to do in there as well. But there's multiple hairstyles that we can do, upstyles specifically, without using a curling iron, and this is a great setup for it, as well as setup for curling iron work. Now you may ask too, why don't I just blow dry like this all the time? Well, guess what? You can if you want to. I have some clients that have really fine hair, can't keep volume in their hair. I totally do this. Great business building technique. I can also sell them this styling product, the setting spray, to do at home. Some people just need real help in the crown directing it so that it stays up. Spray some product in there, blow dry it up. Some people can't keep their part in place. Spray some product in there, blow dry it in place. Think about all of the young girls that are doing dance that need their hair in a tight ponytail. Spray some product across the hairline, blow dry the hair back so that you can put it in a nice ponytail. You can use aspects of this in many different ways. It doesn't have to be a full head of directional blow drying, but for an updo, it's a great way to start the updo. So, here's a hot tip. In my salon, we had a whole menu of blow dry bar services. They were all services that we could do using directional blow drying, and they were really inexpensive. They took about half an hour. This one in particular, which we offered as a service, was called Full of Life. And basically, the client came in, was going out for dinner or going to a show or going to work in the morning, and we just did directional blow dry, no shampoo. It was like $30. That's it. So, you can create a whole menu of services like that, which I'll share with you in another video. But this is inspirational for updos. So, foundation, huge. Setup, huge. It creates what this style is going to sit on, and it's going to help it last all day long. So, if you have any questions or want to know more, shoot me an email at shoptalkandstyle@gmail.com. Also, take a look at the updo videos. This is going to be a foundational video for most of the updos that I do. I'll be sending direction back to here for this 3 steps to directional blow dry for successful setup. So I hope you enjoyed the video. It's great hanging with you guys, and I can't wait to see you again.